Hello everyone, so welcome to today's video. Today we're doing a full face of brand new makeup. I am plugging in an existing drugstore foundation, but everything else is going to be new products that I'm using and testing out. Some products I used in my last drugstore video, which was more related to Physicians Formula. I plugged in one of their products into this video, and then we're doing a lot of new e.l.f. products. Hitting up some Moira because I've been curious about this brand. I found them through Instagram. I ordered a couple products just to kind of sample the brand and see, because I really didn't know what was good and what was not. So I just ordered a few things that I thought I would be interested in trying and sharing with you guys on camera. So this is the look that I came up with today. It's all drugstore and I'm giving you my first impressions. We're trying the products out for the first time. So I hope you will enjoy it. And if you want to see how the look is created, then just continue watching. We're going to get started with some of the drugstore products that I have been kind of curious about. The first thing is the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Primer. I have a sample of the Putty Primer that is a little bit thicker. This is the liquid version of that. That's supposed to be a little bit thinner. I'm not sure if it's the same or what the difference is when it's applied. So I wanted to try this. I also picked up another shade of the Halo Glow Filter. I bought shade number 2. Fairlight. They did come out with some new shades. When I first bought the original Halo Glow, when it first launched last year, I believe, I ordered the shade number 1. And so number 1 is very peach, and it's not one that I could get by as far as giving me a little bit of coverage with glow and then just skipping foundation. That's the thought process behind ordering shade 2. So I will show you a comparison of the shades. Hopefully you can see this is shade 1, it's more peach, and then shade 2, which is a little bit more golden and a little bit deeper. And I feel like it could be a little bit more like a very sheer coverage kind of thing with glow. Maybe add some foundation to it. That's kind of the thought process behind ordering this new shade. So I may or may not use this today. I picked up one of their lip oils. I never got a chance to order those. They sold out and then they came back and I forgot about it. So I picked up one shade. I also ordered a new shade of the satin lipsticks. They won Best in Beauty for lipsticks in the past year that I just recently posted. So I ordered one more shade. And then probably an exciting thing to try today is the Camo Liquid Blushes. I ordered a few shades of these. 3 shades that I felt like I could make a lot of use out of, and I feel like I've got a good range of like a kind of neutrally peachy pink, a mauve shade, and then a brighter pink. So it kind of covers all the bases of all the tones that I actually like wearing. So I picked those up. First up is the primer. I'm going to use a little bit on my brush. It kind of smells a little strange. The brush that I'm going to use to blend this in is the F47, the Multitasker from Sigma. And I'm going to just use a little bit of this. I think it's probably better if I use my fingers to apply this, but we'll see how this looks. I have to kind of continue playing because it's kind of hard to tell right away, for primer at least, if it really does anything. I'd have to try it with all of my favorite primers, combinations, maybe just this with my favorite foundations, and see if I can make this into something that I could use with my everyday routine. So I think I am going to use this. It comes with a seal tape on it, which is kind of hard to kind of twist the cap and get it to come off. So you need to pick it off. Probably the best thing to do is to use some tweezers. Okay, so after I struggled getting the seal off the cap, I think what I'm going to do is mix a little bit of the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Full Coverage Foundation. This is the only one that is decent as far as color for me. The ones that I've purchased in the past have been just completely off and it just does not work out. So I'm going to do a little bit of mixing with the e.l.f. Halo Glow. And this comes with a huge doe foot applicator, which I'm pretty sure you've seen this already at this point. So I took some and I put it on the cap of my foundation, and I'm just going to pump right on top of that. To blend this all in, I'm going to use the Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation brush from NYX, which is actually a pretty good brush for 15 bucks. It's not bad. So I'm going to mix those two colors together on the cap, using that as a palette. To be honest with you, I do that very often. And my skin has been kind of dry. We've been cranking up the heat inside the house because we've been experiencing some really cold temperatures. And I really think that's the cause of why my skin is kind of feeling a little bit dry, tight, a little bit of more texture that's noticeable when I put makeup on. So we're just going to kind of go over it and hope for the best, really, because I don't know what else to do. It's not the best look right now, but considering my skin is really dry and tight and there's some dryness around the nose, this looks considerably good. So I'm going to just leave it as it is. I'm not going to continue adding more because I feel like that would be a mistake to do. Another new e.l.f. product is their new under eye putty brightener. This is the Putty Color Correcting Eye Brightener, and I picked up the shade, if I can find it on here, shade Fair. So it's the light pink shade that is supposed to be a brightener. I recently did a review of the new corrector in the peach color from Physicians Formula. So if you haven't seen my video on their new 2024 collection products, check it out because I did review that one, but I'm going to use this one today. And I'm going to use my sponge because that's how I always blend in my brighteners and correctors. Oh yeah, I do think that that did something, which is nice. I had purchased their other corrector that came out, I think it was last year sometime, and I believe I ordered a peach color. And I didn't really like it that much. I just felt like it didn't really do anything, and it was more of an extra step than I wanted to do because I didn't see a result. Now, if it's like a corrector where you can visually see that it does something and then you do your concealer, it's worth taking that extra step, right? But when it does absolutely nothing or it's too dark, you're just like, why am I bothering, right? And this is that corrector that I was talking about. I still kept it. This is the Camo Color Corrector. I bought the peach color. I think that's what this is, the peach shade, and I just felt like it was too dark. Honestly, kind of similar to Physicians Formula, but comparing the two colors, this is more orange looking from Physicians Formula versus this old one from e.l.f. So I'm not a fan of this e.l.f. one. I think that this putty one already is a huge difference and improvement from that. So if you wanted one of their correctors, I would say maybe try the putty one first. Over the e.l.f. putty corrector, I'm going to apply some of my favorite drugstore concealer. That's the Can't Stop Won't Stop from NYX. I'm using shade Vanilla. Alabaster is also another good one that I like, but it's a little too light. So I'm going to just stick with Alabaster today. It's a little bit more yellow, a little bit more golden. And I'm going to pull that down just a little bit to blend and also give me a little bit more coverage right in through here. And I love this concealer from the drugstore. It just can't be beat. To set, I'm going to use my Diamond Blur Powder from Physicians Formula. This was part of their 2024 collection. This is their skincare diamond powder, and it is translucent, so I'm going to use that to set everything under the eye. And then I'm going to set through the forehead, chin, nose, because I did get too much on my sponge, so I'm going to just use it instead of wasting it. I'm going to just kind of blend this in. Going in with a little bit of the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer in the shade called Tan Lines to warm up my complexion. We're going to do some blush. I chose a few shades from the Camo Liquid Blushes from e.l.f., but I want to try some of my kind of more pinky shades. I think I want to go into the shade called Sauve Mauve and see how that looks because I've used the peachy color before, which is like a dusty rose shade. That to me looks more peach, so I'm going to just not use that. I use pink all the time, and you've seen me wear pink, so I want to just save that for a separate video, but I do want to go into this one. This one seems like it's going to be, it looks a little bit kind of like a deep mauve-y type shade, right? So we'll see. So the doe foot is quite rounded and kind of short. I mean, something that you would expect with liquid blushes or even concealer. So I'm going to do a couple little dots on the back of this little compact here from Physicians Formula. So I'm going to take about, I would say, the equivalent to maybe 5 to 6 drops. That's probably overkill, right? But we'll see. I'm going to go in with my IT Cosmetics brush. We're going to just tap. Start with tapping. Okay, that is, 1, it's pigmented. 2, that's a lot more rosy than I expected. What? Do you see that? Very deceiving. Okay. I'm gonna wipe off my brush. We're gonna blend this out. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Stick with me. I know what I'm doing here. So I'm just gonna tap this out and I'm gonna go over it with my beauty sponge over the nose. Whoa. Okay. That was a pleasant surprise. I'm going to use my beauty sponge to blend this in even further. Okay, so it's blending out quite nicely. We did look a little crazy for like a second there, but it does blend in really, really nice. So on the skin, it looks quite nice and just fresh. Not overly emollient and greasy and too reflective. There's no shimmer in it, which is nice. That is a really pretty color. I'm glad I got that. That was like a last minute addition because I wasn't planning on getting this shade because it looks quite dark. I was just gonna get, honestly, just one, the pink color, because I do like a lot of pink blush. But then I added this shade at the very end before placing my order because I thought, you know what, let's just try it. I'm already placing an order, so why not, right? So I think that that's a really nice product. I do feel like it still could be blended a little bit more because it is intense. But I think once I do the eyes and a lip, it just kind of ties everything together. Right now, it just seems quite bold because I don't have anything on the eyes. I don't have a lip for the day. So I'm going to do some eyeshadow next and we do some highlight. I'm excited to see how this is going to wear because I was really, really excited to bust these open and use them for the first time with you on camera. So far this has been a nice experience for the application. The color was so unexpected and it just went on with ease, even though I did use too much. But yes, I do like that. That looks so nice. Yay. So I also picked up some products from Moira. I've seen them on Instagram. Their swatches look really nice. Their products look really beautiful. The price point is just right. So I picked up a few products just to kind of try a sampling. I'm not too familiar with the brand, so if you have any recommendations from that line that you like, send them my way. But I did pick up some of their eyeshadows, which they had a lot, so it was kind of hard to narrow down which ones were the best. So I picked the ones that were more intricate looking and really beautiful. So I have some of those that I will be using in a future video. I picked up one of their highlighters, which this looks really beautiful. The Dreamlight highlighter in Honeysuckle, so we'll use that today. But then I also saw under their eyeshadows that they have creams and liquid glitter shadows, which I picked up one of those, but I picked up one of their cream shadows. This is the Everlust Shimmer Cream Shadow, and I picked up the shade called Dazzling Brown. When I saw this, I kid you not, the first thing I thought was Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize cream shadows, which are some of my favorite cream shadows. There was a color way back, what, 4 or 5 years ago when I bought it for the first time. It used to be called Marie Antoinette. I think it's called Oyster now, and she changed the names of them. But when I saw this color and how it looks kind of like a moussey texture, I mean, there's a clear plastic cap over it right now that I'll take off, but the texture looks the same. Even the swirl and the little dollop is the same in the jar. It's like, are they trying to dupe that? So I have to try this. I literally need to put this on my eyes. Here's what the product looks like before I put my finger in there or scoop some out as I typically do, but that's what it looks like, the Dazzling Brown. And look at the swirl. How satisfying is that? Brand new product. I just took the seal off of it. So I just like using a fluffy brush. This is an old one from Morphe. It's the E22, which is my typical go-to for cream shadows because I can sweep it into the crease, which I've already primed, by the way. Sweep it into the crease, go all over the lid, and be done with it and not have to use a lot of brushes. So here we go. I'm going to just work it into the brush. So we're going to see. Okay, so that's really pretty. It's called Dazzling Brown. And so there is, I would say, a bit of a kind of silver sparkle that you see with this formula. I'm not sure if all of them are like that. The range looks absolutely beautiful, by the way. They have other shades, so if you wanted some darker shades, lighter shades, they've got it all. Really great range. So I'm going to just build this up a little bit more, and it is a lot more glittery than the one from Charlotte Tilbury, and I do think that this shade is a lot lighter. I think that there's a little bit more of like a taupiness, slight bronze, like a very light bronze to the Oyster one from Charlotte Tilbury, but it's pretty similar. Do you see that? It's kind of giving me a hint of color and a little bit of sparkle, a little bit of pizzazz. It couldn't be easier. I'm going to take some as well with the same brush and just use a little bit to add some definition to my lower lash line a little bit. I don't quite think that the shade is quite exact to Charlotte Tilbury, but as far as the application, the moussiness and the level of pigment, I do think it's probably the closest that you're going to find to the Eyes to Mesmerize. So if you're interested in that formula from Charlotte, but you don't want to spend $35 for just one, check these out. You may actually be pleasantly surprised and enjoy them. And that's coming from a huge, huge Charlotte Tilbury fan. Those are some of my favorite products from her line. So this is pretty daggone close, I would say. Pretty close to where I would recommend that you try these instead of Charlotte if you want something that's more affordable along the Eyes to Mesmerize line of cream shadows. So there you have it. Now I need to do some eyeliner, and I think I'm just going to use my go-to eyeliner from NYX, a good old classic liquid liner in brown with some mascara, and I'm going to use the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift Mascara. Liner and mascara is done, and let's put on a little highlight before we do the lip combo. I have been wanting to put this on my face ever since I got my order in the mail, and let me tell you, today's the day, okay? I picked up the Dreamlight highlighter in the shade called Honeysuckle, also from Moira. Let's talk about the packaging. It has that sort of shifty kind of vibe. My daughters would go nuts. Cuckoo bananas for this. Look at the packaging. This looks like it's gonna have quite a bit of like a more intense reflective finish, so I do want to tread softly based off of how it looks. I think I'm gonna use something fluffy to apply this because this does look like it could be intense. So I'm just gonna start off with tapping my brush in there once on each side, getting it covered, tapping off the excess, and let's go for it. Let's do little taps. Okay, that was light. Let's do a little bit more. Ooh, yes. There is like a soft kind of light peachy pink from this. Ooh, okay, that's too much. Wow. Let's try the other side. You have to like a little bit more of an intense glow to really enjoy this, because this is definitely intense. Let's do a little bit under the brow bone. Wow, I think I got carried away on this side. Holy smokes. Okay, so this is something you have to tread softly. It's stunning. This is really, really pretty. It adds a little bit more of a visible sheen and sparkle to the skin. I wouldn't say it's extremely glittery, but you will see more kind of sparkly bits on your cheek. I think it's fine for me. I don't mind it. If it were like really big chunks, I wouldn't really care for it as much, but the color is beautiful. The sheen is out of this world. Love this so, so much. I told you guys in my favorites for Best in Beauty lip category that the satin lipsticks from E.l.f. were my favorites, so I picked up a new shade with my order. I bought the shade called Feeling Myself. The first one that I bought was called Dirty Talk, and it's the perfect everyday color. Stunning, 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 okay? This feels luxurious. For $9, you would not expect this type of quality for a $9 lipstick. It's out of this world. The packaging has that soft matte touch. It's got a magnetic closure. The colors, the lipstick bullet, the embossing of the name on the lipstick. I mean, everything about it is just absolutely luxurious. So I'm going to go straight in for this to show you what this looks like. Whoa, that's bright. Okay. I'm using a lip brush to help clean around the lines a little bit. So here's what the lipstick looks like. This is Feeling Myself, just directly applied to the lips. Softened out the edges with my little flat eyeshadow brush from Profusion, which is my little tip. When you're using any type of lip color, use a little brush to help clean up. Especially like today, I didn't use a lip liner. I think I probably should have because this is a little bit bolder, but I used my little brush to kind of go around the edges and kind of soften it. So it's fine. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything, but a bit of a nude lip liner could have deepened this a little bit, at least the lip line, and kind of made this a little darker because it is a lot more bright in person than I expected it to be based off of what I saw online, but it's still a really pretty color. So here's the Dirty Talk shade. So I will show you how they look side by side, kind of compared, so you can see the new one is a lot more peach, and then this one just looks a little bit deeper, but it pulls more pink. So we'll do a little bit of the Dirty Talk right over the top. Yeah. There we go. That's better. That is more my speed there. I love what this Dirty Talk lipstick did to the lip. It just kind of deepened it just enough. It kind of toned down, I think, the brightness of this Feeling Myself shade. Beautiful still on its own, and I will continue using them. But the two together, two of these is like the price of one Huda Beauty lipstick or one lipstick from Sephora. Love the way that looks. And there you have it. That is the completed look. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. This was actually fun for me to sit down and play with all these new products, and I'm just really excited to continue testing these out, and I will use more of these products in future videos. I'm trying to incorporate more drugstore related content here on my YouTube channel, so I hope that you guys enjoyed that. And if you like drugstore makeup, what are your favorite brands, favorite products? Just because I'm kind of curious, I want to know. But as far as today's look, I do think that everything turned out really well. I like the simplicity of the eye, and I like how I was surprised by the blush. I was expecting it to be a little bit less pigment and not as easy to work with, but it's pigmented, it's easy to apply, and so far it looks nice, and it looks somewhat blurred on the skin. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it wears well throughout the day and it doesn't disappear. But for the price point of those blushes, I honestly you can't beat it, right? So stay tuned because I will be using some of the other shades in a future video. The lip combo is great. I knew I loved this formula for the e.l.f. lipstick, so I'm not really surprised there. As far as the highlighter, that was something that I was really excited for, and I wasn't quite sure how intense it was going to be, but that was a pleasant surprise, just like the blushes. I have to obviously report back on the primer and everything else that I'm using. I hope the eyeshadow doesn't crease on me with my normal primer. We'll see. So I will annotate in the description box, basically kind of doing an update on how things were. I don't know if you find that helpful, but I do. Whenever I sit down to watch wear test videos, just kind of seeing how things wear and kind of letting you guys know what I think at the end of the day. So far, I'm really happy with everything. Let me know what you think of the look in the comments section. I appreciate you so much for being here, for tuning into today's video. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this in the future. We could be friends on Instagram. It's always here on the screen. I look forward to seeing you there. And in my next video, take care, you guys. Talk soon. Bye-bye.